It's time for Real Talk with Brian and Dan, the weekly talk radio show dedicated to discussing important real estate topics, plus insight into the local community. With a combined experience of over 50 years as local real estate brokers from the East Side Real Estate team at Keller Williams Realty Bellevue. Here's your hosts, Brian Levitt and Dan Edwards.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Real Talk with Brian and Dan on 1150 KKNW. It is Wednesday, July 24, 2019, and summer is finally here in the Northwest, sort of.
It's about time.
Sort of. It was rainy yesterday, sunny the day before. Manic, depressive summer. It's better than smoke. Wouldn't you agree, Brian?
Oh, yes.
Okay. So if you'd like to listen to any of our podcasts in the past, you can find those where podcasts are found. We have a great show. I'm really excited to talk to two guests that we have today, Richard Eastern from the Lash Lounge and Mary Lynn Shushinoff, Mary Lynn Shushinoff with Home Partners of America. That's going to be a great spot. So, but before we get to our guests, of course, it's time for some real talk.
Last week, we talked about why owning a home is always better than renting. Today, we're going to give you some insight into the housing market. Around this time of the month, we like to review last month's numbers in order to give listeners a bit of clarity on the market. First off, let's look at the inventory numbers. In June, the number of total active listings in King County rose by 31.71% from 4,503 to 5,931. On the east side, inventory increased of 32.42% year over year from June 2018. Furthermore, pending sales across King County rose 2.64%, then east side pending sales were down 6.6%.
So that's a healthy market, Brian. We're seeing kind of some normalization of numbers. I know the last couple of Junes, it was 70, 80% inventory year over year. So it's kind of, I wouldn't say contracting by any sense of the meaning.
Moving towards balance.
Moving towards balance. So King County closed sales were down about 4.14%. So when I see any numbers in the single digits, I always think that's generally speaking, that's probably pretty normal than it was, like same as last year. You know what I mean?
Right.
I know it's a change, but it's not a big catastrophic change. Now, despite the increases of inventory and the decline of closings, pendings are showing an increase. Median the home sales price shows the ability for buyers to choose. That's what we're seeing when prices are coming down or adjusting. They're dropping down just 1%, 1.9% over last year. So the median home price in King County, $637,675.02. I'm just joking.
2 cents. There you go.
The median sales price on the east side saw an increase of 1.74% up to $875. So really some normalization.
Yeah, that's right. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, so any other thoughts on what sellers and buyers, what that means for them?
Well, I think, again, bringing balance to the market. We've been in a strong seller's market with the increase in inventory and the low rates. It's a great time for buyers.
Yep, it really is. And how their money is stretched compared to last year, it's really awesome. It's fantastic.
Yeah. We're going to talk to Wes in a little bit about that. He'll give us a mortgage update.
Yes, Wes Graham with First Washington Mortgage.
Right.
Yes. All right. Put us on the spot. So, also, there's some interesting things to consider about the market.
Yeah, the following three areas of the housing market are critical to understand interest rates, building materials, and the outlook for an economic slowdown. Number one, interest rates. One of the most important things to consider when buying a home is the interest rate you'll be charged to borrow the money. We are currently at a 21-month low in interest rates, making it a prime time to invest in a home.
21, that's almost 2 years.
That's right.
Wow. So the other thing is building materials. So this is an interesting perspective. So because of the talk of tariffs and how they can affect the housing market, according to a recent article by the National Association of Home Builders, they're reporting that as much as $10 billion in goods imported from China are used in home building. So depending on the outcome of the tariff trade discussions between the countries, there could be as much of a 25% boost in the cost of materials. So that creates a slowdown, I would say, for builders, for new construction.
Right.
And when you see a slowdown in new construction, that's a tightening of inventory.
Although I read last week that building permits are way up.
That's right. We talked about that.
Right.
The permits are up. So, I would never base my choice to buy or sell on something as big as what the Chinese tariffs might do.
Right.
But it's something to consider.
Yeah, it has an impact. So number three, economic slowdown. We began the year with many economic leaders thinking we could expect a recession in late 2019 or early 2020. As spring approached, economists had started to push that projection past 2020. Now, 3 leading surveys indicate that it may begin in the next 18 months. However, this potential recession isn't expected to be driven by the housing industry. We're currently in a strong housing market. Wages are increasing, home prices are appreciating, and mortgage rates are the lowest they've been in 21 months. Whether you are thinking of buying or selling, it's a great time to be in the market.
Yeah, I look at this and I think, again, I don't really want to base my purchase decisions on the market because you can't really time the market.
Right.
But I do think about the economy and how it will affect future appreciation. Brian, when you consider buying a house, we talked about this a little bit last week.
Mm-hmm.
You bought your first home and then you sold it and then you bought another one. And
Right.
there was some time between that. But most people that are making a purchasing decision, they're making it for a long term.
Right.
So what would an economic slowdown next year do for somebody that was like looking to buy the home that they're going to raise their children in, right?
Yeah, I think, again, right now, the big thing I think of is affordability and selection. We got better inventory, so that's why this is a better time. If we see prices rise because of building materials going up, that decreases buying power. If we see a recession, usually that's going to slow the market down. And so that's part of the reason I would say if you're thinking about it, now's the time.
So then what about this? I've got a lot of folks that are coming into the country, right, just for the first time, and they're probably going to be maybe 3 years, 4 years. What would you tell them?
I tell them that if you're planning on staying even that long, it's probably a good time to buy just because we still are seeing very strong appreciation. You look at the median price in King County, $875. Dang.
Yeah. Well, that's the east side.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh, east side. Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. But even
Right,
so,
you're right.
637.
Yeah.
For King
King
County.
County, right.
So
Yeah.
the other thing that I think about is if I could go back in time, I talk to people on the phone all the time that are thinking, we're renting now. We've been renting. They have good paying jobs. They're paying taxes, all of those kinds of things. And you wonder, like, how much could they have saved? And the calculation is, it's staggering, even over 2 years. If 2 years ago that individual bought. Now, I'm not in that position now to say the next 2 years are going to have the same kind of appreciation we saw over the last 2
Right.
years. But I do think that time over task moving forward, if you look at just 2 months of appreciation, 2 months of appreciation, it's not worth it. But if you think of the 3 years,
Right.
you're
Well, I
paying
shared
rent.
with you, Dan and I
talked
were
about
chatting earlier. I mentioned a family I'm helping with the sale of their home. They didn't plan on selling this soon, but circumstances are forcing the sale. They've been in there a year and a half, and they're going to double their money.
Wow.
Because remember, the idea, we talked about this in a previous show, you put 10% down,
Yeah.
you don't get appreciation based on your 10%, you get appreciation based on the entire value of the home, the entire asset. So that's really leveraging that money.
Well, so the other thing is we've got like 4 minutes left. So I'm gonna riff on something.
Go for it.
Is sellers right now. It's July 28th, and I've talked to a couple that their home expired. I talked to a gentleman yesterday. His home expired in June, and he says, I'm just going to wait till after Labor Day. And I thought, what a big mistake, right?
Right.
Sellers right now, this is kind of the point, is this is that last push for people to make their moves before
Or school starts.
Yeah, because in September, when people they're done with their summer, they're done doing their things, they kind of get back into that mode,
Right.
I know, of work, and they're not thinking about houses. So I suggested to him that he should probably get back on the market sooner if he wants to sell it. However, the one thing that he said to me, he said people are buying homes all the time.
That's true.
So while I agree with that, I certainly think that they're, right after Labor Day, I think there's going to be about a week or two of kind of softness in the market.
One of the things that's unique, we talked to different brokers around the country. Most of the country, summer is their really busy real estate season. Here it's a little different in that people go play when we have the nice weather. And so our peak seasons are really spring and fall. So the things I would say is getting ahead of the market, going on the market now to be ready. My experience, and been doing this forever here, is along about the second week of August, the phones start ringing off the hook. So being on the market, ready, home prepared, that would be the time.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. Time the market. Don't time the market. No matter what, if your home is priced properly, it will sell.
Yeah, and it's prepared properly.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
We were talking about preparing last week, didn't
Right.
we? No, we didn't. We haven't talked in a while. Maybe we'll hit a segment next week
let's do
about
that.
our premier listing program and how. We've got a ton of activity this week, right? We've got. We'll talk at the end of the show about a couple of properties that are getting refreshed and back onto the market. They're going to be pretty awesome. All right. Well, that is it for our opening segment, Real Talk. After the break, we're gonna do our mortgage moment. We're gonna be joined by, Wes Graham with Wah First Mortgage. So come on back after the break.
Not sure if now is the right time to sell? Worried you missed the market? The Eastside Real Estate Team specializes in helping homeowners maximize their equity when selling. With our proven premier listing service, our clients have sold their homes for more money in less time than the competition. We know you have many choices when working with a real estate agent, but with the Eastside Real Estate Team, you get a team of highly qualified, experienced agents. From staging to deciding if your property is market ready for top dollar. If you're considering selling, call the Eastside Real Estate Team at 425-200-4093. Or check out our website at the eastsiderealestateteam.com, a subsidiary of Keller Williams Realty in Bellevue.
Are your dog's behaviors not quite what you'd like them to be? You're not alone. DogSmart is committed to helping families just like yours learn ways to communicate with your dog so that both ends of the leash are working as one. They've helped countless families on Seattle's East Side and beyond. Don't waste another moment. Reach out today. To learn more about how DogSmart can help or to schedule a time to meet, visit their website at dogsmartseattle.com or call 1-833-DOGSMART today.
No other station delivers this much variety. Alternative Talk 1150.
Welcome back to the show. You're listening to Real Talk with Brian and Dan.
I'm Brian.
And I'm Dan. And now it's time for our mortgage moment. During this segment, we get a quick update on the lending side for the home buying process. And today, we're talking with Wes Graham from Wah First Mortgage. Wes is currently a senior loan originator and has been serving borrowers at a super high level for over 21 years. Welcome to the show, Wes.
Thank you, Dan.
Hey, Wes.
Hey, Brian. How's it going?
Good. Hey, how you been?
Good.
How's your
Just
golf game these
busy,
days?
and trying to enjoy the summer months here while staying very busy on the mortgage side.
Yeah, and you getting some golf in?
Brian.
Dumb question, huh? Yeah.
I do have my 3-day Bear Creek event coming up here, so
nice.
Looking forward to that break for sure.
What is that, a 3-a-day?
Yeah, it's a 3-day. Basically, it's a two. You pick a partner basically, and they have a 3-day full 18 holes every day, and it's just a fun time with the whole Bear Creek crew. And
Nice.
they tuck the pins for us and make the course as hard as possible, and so it's
Nice.
a struggle, but it's a fun struggle.
There you go.
Awesome. So tell us about the mortgage market. What's going on?
So, what we've seen is in the last, I think what we're seeing right now is just, it's the summer, right? And in the summer, you get this kind of weird lull in the first couple weeks of July with the 4th of July weekend. And we tend to see it with, home showings and just families enjoying their vacations, right? And so what I've seen here in the last, I'd say 4 business days is really just people starting to get active again and either refinancing or looking at homes. What we're seeing as far as interest rates are concerned, just looking at the 30-year fixed side of the fence, we've seen the rates basically go down to about 3.875% with no points.
Wow.
I'd say 30 days ago. And we've seen rates rise back up to 4 1/8 about 2 weeks ago, and now we're back down just right under 4%.
That's
So we're
great.
seeing that trend down as far as interest rates are concerned, and so we're seeing a lot of benefit when it comes to refinancing and also purchasing your home. People are actually able, when interest rates drop, they're able to afford more home. And people always love to see an interest rate in the high 3% range.
All right. So how long will it last?
Oh, that's a tough question. God,
Yeah, we're calling you
if
on
I
this
had
one.
that answer, I would be a rich man. That is for sure.
So how's underwriting going?
I will tell you what some of the industry experts say is they tend to see it, good through all the way through the middle of next year. And then once we start seeing the political things start coming and starting to vote for president, we tend to see an uptick in interest rates for whatever reason.
Interesting.
And so I would hope to see a solid trend through the middle of next year as far as interest rates hopefully staying in the high 3% range.
Awesome.
How's underwriting going these days? What's your turn times typically?
So that's a great question, right? And so with this influx of refinances, and I'm more of a purchase-based loan officer, right? I'd say 80% of my business is solely, supporting the real estate agents out there, and closing purchase is on time, which is the most important, crucial thing you can do as a loan officer, is to obviously come through on your purchase transactions and close early and on time. And what we're seeing in the last couple of weeks here is way too much volume in most of the banks that we see right now. And I would say instead of getting a 3-day turn time on an underwrite, you're looking at more like an 8 to 9 day turn. And so the dream of closing a home loan in 18 days is really kind of stretched back out into the 30-day mark, I would say.
Yeah.
Awesome. So how do our listeners get a hold of you?
So I can be reached directly. If you want to just shoot me a question via email, you can email me at WesG, WESG, at WFMTG.com. Or you can call me directly at 425-268-0116.
Great information, Wes. Thanks for joining us this week. Hey, right after our break, we'll be talking to our guest for the week. First up will be Richard Eastern with the Lash Lounge. Join us right after the break.
Did you know when you pay rent, you're actually paying someone else's mortgage? Are you tired of missing out on owning your own home? Fact: homeowners on average have 40 times the financial net worth of renters. The Eastside Real Estate Team has been helping many first-time homebuyers find and buy their first home. They specialize in customer service and put you first. They listen first to what you're looking for, and then they take the time to make sure their clients understand every aspect of the home buying process. If owning a home has been your dream, the Eastside Real Estate Team can help you. For a free, no-hassle consultation, call 425-200-4093 or find them online at the eastsiderealestateteam.com, a subsidiary of Keller Williams Realty in Bellevue.
Are you worried about an aging loved one who is isolated in their home? Or maybe they've just had a fall and they're not safe in their house? If you're searching for a safe place for them to live, you've probably been overwhelmed with all the choices. There are more than 150 assisted living and memory care communities licensed in King County and over 1,000 adult family homes. Oasis Senior Advisors has helped thousands of families across the county navigate this difficult time, and we have the compassion and understanding in getting to know your loved one and what they need. To learn more, check us out at oasisssenioradvisors.com. That's all one word, oasisssenioradvisors.com. Or call us at 425-526-7111. That's 425-526-7111. Oasis Senior Advisors, because the right place means everything.
Bringing good vibes to the Puget Sound and the world. Alternative Talk 1150.